Okay, so this session is about ChatGPT and how we at ProcessMaker are working to, like a lot of the conversations earlier with Jose and with Brian talked about, AI and cloud automation. So with the whole buzz of the world going crazy about, sorry about that, about ChatGPT, you know, we're part of the world, so we're going crazy too. And that's why we're doing a lot of this stuff. So we thought it'd be interesting to give the demo of what we have right now, which we're continuing to iterate on. In fact, Neal and I were just IMing about that before this. And we thought that afterwards would be kind of cool and maybe ask ChatGPT to give us some questions to kind of help frame the discussion. So we're going to have a couple questions that are generated by AI. So let me open up my my Slack channel. So just give me 1 second while I share my screen. So, and I did test this, but you never know. Live demos have these really weird ways of just not working randomly for the weirdest reasons. So, Neal, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, indeed.
All right, excellent. So this one actually above, before I start the demo, this was from our hackathon that we just had, an internal hackathon, and this was a really cool idea where you could kind of create a process directly from Slack. I'm not going to say more than that, but so that you keep an eye out for this kind of stuff. But this is the direction, part of the direction we're going for this type of for like the AI, which is it's just everything we're uncovering is crazy. So we're gonna start off with ChatGPM. Let's just say, hey, are you around? Let's just see if if the service is even working. If it is, there we go. Excellent. Phew, relief. Live demo works. So he says, hi there, how can I help you? So, all right, so let's say ChatGPM, I want to take Monday off. And this could be anywhere from corporate to a couple person company, mom, pop shop, startup. So you could have, you're about to see more of a corporate type of structure, but say you want to take, you have flexible time off policies like we do, and you want to take some time off and you just need to notify the right people, make sure that nobody has a problem with it, right? So you say I take Monday off. Okay, well, if you were to tell that, then we have integrated ChatGPM in a way that it can understand and execute a workflow in ProcessMaker, as well as kind of tie in a lot of those different, think of them as like nodes of clouds, like that we were talking about before earlier today. You have your marketing cloud, your sales cloud, different kinds of clouds. So we're going to automate all the clouds at through the power of, like business process management. And so say for example, this was executed and, hypothetically, these were either my coworkers or a mix of coworkers, reports, whoever, people that need to be notified about my taking off Monday. So you can see that the date, and you can see that Google Calendar, it obviously didn't understand the date. That's probably my typo in my prompt engineering that I need to fix. So I did notice that. I'll look into it afterwards. But Google Calendar invite sent to everybody basically in this list. It even knew to mark it as free. This is where how powerful the large language models can be, because it can understand the context of, this is an office assistant and I'm an employee asking for time off. And if you're going to put the invite, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to someone putting a PTO thing on your calendar as busy. That's awful, because then when people want to go and schedule things on your calendar, it looks like you're totally busy all day. So it understands that fine context to mark it as free. It updates the HR system, which in our case is Bamboo, and it'll set my Slack status to vacation mode on that date, and it'll even update. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are just four examples, but you get the idea of, if you have a workflow, a process that needs to be executed with your flexible to paid time off type of policy, which most companies offer these days, this is a really powerful way in which to use both hyper automate, all the buzzwords that you want to throw at it, everything from AI to BPM, business process management, and all the stuff we've talked about today. So considering the short time slot that we have today and the questions we want to get to have some interesting conversation with Neal, who is our head of product, I think that this kind of gives a good idea. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and why don't we start going through the questions? Are you ready, Neal?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So the first question that we had from ChatGPT, not GPM, is with the rise of AI and machine learning, how do you see ChatGPT's language capabilities transforming the way businesses approach BPM and IDP? So
Well,
go first, Neal.
sure. Yeah. The initial basis for ChatGPT's value is in helping people communicate with software and vice versa, right? But beyond a communication layer, the potential for more intelligent designs and more sophisticated analysis holds a lot of value in these areas. So not just designing business processes with ChatGPT, as we've described, as an element like supporting your users, but actually feeding natural language to ChatGPT about your business challenge and having it create the process for you. And as the model is further trained, as I expect we'll see more instances where the translation of user needs to solution happens much more quickly and simply. And then in the realm of IDP, and really even beyond that, the capability to review, categorize, and gather insights from documents of various types is immensely valuable. I mean, think about how, with some statistical analysis included, ChatGPT could analyze documents across thousands or millions of anonymized medical records to uncover how medical treatments or conditions are related, which can happen in seconds rather than through the hours and hours that, doctors in the academia go through self-directed study in order to create a study as it happens today. What about your thoughts, Ethan?
Sorry, not quick enough to find the mute button. No, I think those are really strong points, and I think the only things that I might, because it's funny, you had a lot of the same thoughts that I did. I'm not just saying that, but some of the other things that I was also thinking about is, how it can help collaboration, how it can increase the efficiency of businesses in the way they operate. So like, for example, ChatGPT can help businesses analyze and interpret everything from, fully relational structured data all the way to not just NoSQL unstructured, but even down to, unstructured OCR type of data. It can take everything. The data is just data now. There's no JSON, there's no CSV, there's just basically data because of that. And so therefore, emails, chat logs, social media interaction, everything can be so much more fluid and easier and accessible. Because the other day I'm bilingual, and I wrote another language to ChatGPT something. I said something in English as well, same exact response. There was actually slight nuance based on cultural and regional differences as well. So like, you just have all of that now. OpenAI is kind of just like made the point that it's out there. So I think that we have yet to see really how far and how fast things like artificially intelligent large language models, AILM, are gonna just in 12 months from now, no one will recognize the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. So, and Michelle, I don't know. We've got a couple of questions. If we go over time, just please feel free to stop us, please. So
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. So number two from ChatGPT, the question was, as ChatGPT's capabilities continue to expand, how do you see it fitting into the future, specifically of ProcessMaker's roadmap and development?
So, I mean, to your point, are we going to recognize the world 12 months from now? Like, the possibilities for where this could go are wild in potential, and I'm excited about that. Our future question has a little bit more on that, but for things that we know about, things that we're definitely looking towards how we're going to implement, the first step is building a communication layer between our users and the ProcessMaker platform. Processes designed from natural language, as described previously, is one area, but also intelligent analysis of processes and requests from natural language queries. Being able to easily search the platform for the data you need and creating dashboards without, complex PMQL queries will help monitor and understand performance much more easily. In addition to the user to platform communication, though, we also want to think about how ProcessMaker communicates back to the user. For example, as part of development, either through ProcessMaker or even just, regular code, understanding the errors you encounter during testing is extremely important. So we can layer ChatGPT into how ProcessMaker flags those errors for the user, displaying like the exact problem, including the specific cause to the user in natural language, not through error codes, to deal with their design flaw immediately. We'll certainly expand from there, but those are kind of some of the foundational elements that we'll definitely need to address.
Yep. I mean, I think you and I are, I guess we work at the same company since we seem to be on the same page.
Not a bad thing, I'd say.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all. So I just it's fun because it's good that you go first. I don't have to, so it's like half of what I plan to say, it's like already been said. But yeah, so I think to add on to what you said, is also that the way that it can affect our roadmap is think about it in terms of how are businesses going to be managing their workflows in 12 months from now, right? Or even in 3 months from now. How are they supposed to be sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. Transforming their business. How is it going to transform? What's it going to look like? I think there's a lot to how GPT, for example, or other AI technologies like this are going to simplify the user experience and interaction with the tools, kind of like you were saying, not just from natural language, but like, a form is not a form anymore, right? It's just a way of inputting data. Because I think of ChatGPT as I don't know if anybody here watches Quantum Leap, but there's like supercomputer Ziggy, and I just imagine like it's like this massive supercomputer in 2023, like they had in 1960s for a computer room. But in today's technology, that hardware is just, that's how I think about GPT. So when you have that kind of knowledge and just the kinds of interactions that you can generate with the process, with ProcessMaker, so things like you said, natural language querying, things like that, or things like well, actually, we've got only a couple more minutes, so I think that was my main point, and we've got one more question to cover. So thanks for that, Michelle. So the last question we had, and I hope I added some value to that, but how do you envision, this is from ChatGPT, number 3 question, how do you envision ProcessMaker's integration with ChatGPT enhancing the user experience and improving workflow efficiency for business, but from a perspective of 10 years from now?
I mean, there's tons, right? But I think the main one that I'd start with is just massive reduction in time to value. Like, so there's a few guiding principles for how we approach development at ProcessMaker, and reducing time to value is a huge focus for us. So through easier understanding of what's happening in the platform, to develop complex solutions without needing to understand BPM, develop custom scripts, or otherwise utilize more technical expertise, that'll help democratize the use of ProcessMaker within organizations and allow users to get to their solutions much more quickly. And not only that, but the ability to develop solutions quickly and simply will let organizations get more value from the ProcessMaker platform. IT may not be necessary as a principal developer for departments to discover solutions. Imagine, for example, rather than doing a vendor audit for an HR system, an HR manager or director could ask ProcessMaker in natural language for a solution that achieves their needs for that system. From there, with AI-generated screens and processes from natural language, it's not a hard leap to see users accomplishing business tasks with nothing more than a text and a picture of a document. So, hey, ProcessMaker, I need to get feedback on this document from Steve in our design department, and then run his feedback for approval from our CEO. Can you set that up and make sure it happens by Friday? Like that kind of access and function is possible, like generating processes on the fly and then executing them based off of someone interacting with the same way you would an intercom chatbot, even by text from your phone. I think that is the fundamental shift in what we're looking at.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. This is just not fair. I mean, I should be letting you go first because
yeah, no, you've let me, hog all the glory and take the easy stuff.
That's on me. I guess I have no one to blame but myself. But oh yeah, so I mean, you literally hit every single point that I was gonna address. So let's see until we get interrupted by the buzzer here. So in 10 years from now, how do I see ProcessMaker and ChatGPT's integration? How do I see that direction going? I see that as it's gonna be a completely, like you were saying, it's gonna be a totally different world. Like, what's the world gonna look like in 10 years from now, right? The world is gonna
Are you going to even log into ProcessMaker?
Exactly.
Right? Just like, totally behind the scenes.
Like, who knows? There might actually be like, we might become slight cyborgish where we could have, I mean, it's not that far. It's funny, but it's not that far from reality to have like some kind of microchip implanted. You see it in movies like for years and years. And, so there are things that technologies like that out there. Take Google Glasses, for example. Like, I honestly thought that was going to take off in the business sector. I was wrong, obviously. But because it's just like a pair of glasses, and only you can see a little screen, and it looks normal-ish to you, and it would be able to interact. You can interact in the world that way. You can just walk around. I can see someone walking around like in 10 years from now in a warehouse, and just with a Google Glass or some kind of computer vision, like you were saying, kind of walking up and down the aisles and just kind of seeing in an alternate not alternate, AR, augmented, thank you. Too much comic books. Augmented reality way, you'll be able to see the stock counts, and then you might even be able to make a hand motion or something that will say, okay, for that one, actually reorder from the supplier. And that could do everything you were just saying then to go and kick off a workflow in order to have the right supplier for the company, et cetera, et cetera. So like the way that things can evolve in 10 years from now, I am so excited for. And I believe that we are being signaled to wrap up. So I don't know if we have time for questions or not, if there are any, Michelle.
Unfortunately, we do not.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We ran long.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, everyone. I think the conclusion here is we've got a lot of exciting things to come. And one thing I like out of what Ethan was saying is it's not totally removing the human, right? This is going to make all of our lives easier, but it's not going to replace us. We still get a lot of opportunities to interact with this technology and do amazing things with it.